Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Josh.
Join us on our journey.
It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day.
A little round of applause
Yeah.
for all the fathers out there. Father's Day. I didn't even know it was Father's Day until like the couple days before. I honestly forgot. But
I got me, Jonathan, and my sister. We chipped in. I guess the significant others, because we all chipped in and got him a new outdoor cooler.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's it.
His rusted out. They
Great.
don't make those things to last, and he would cover it and everything, and it's still like mine's 5 years old now. Yeah, 5 years I've been in the house, and mine's kind of warping.
What's different about an outdoor cooler than like a?
It's like just on wheels and has the.
Oh, it's just like a blue igloo one. Like
No, it's like a yeah.
Something. you just
It's
keep
funny
on the
actually
deck.
hearing you say that because I knew exactly what you were talking about.
because we
but-
all have one. in
Yeah,
our
but when
fa-
you
like
think
your
about
dad
a
has
cooler, like
one, and-
coolers are all usually
yeah.
outdoors, but it's honestly just a kind of like a bit of a bar cart
Yeah.
that is a cooler. Like it looks like a bar cart.
yeah,
It's on wheels and then there's a little table underneath it.
Yeah,
And,
and
then the
open it.
cooler opens up on both sides. So they flap open and then it's
I
got a
see.
bottle opener on
Yeah.
the cooler
oh,
itself.
cool. Okay.
It's really neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole. It's kind of like a whole thing. Like it's a.
It's not just like a regular
it's like
looking cooler.
furniture,
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's not a- yeah, yeah.
It's more fancy, if you will. You know, it really looks the part when you're having an outdoor party.
Yeah.
You got a nice little
It's nice
cooler
to
out
have
there.
that
Yeah.
nice cooler.
I've never heard of that.
They usually sell them at Costco, correct? I feel like Costco is a good spot to buy them. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good to know.
Then Tommy Bahama probably.
Yeah. Yeah, those
just-
are nice.
I just went to Costco. I did the trek with the two kids. And let me tell you, after they were both great. So it's like you were saying a couple weeks ago, the whatever the word is what's
Anticipation.
yes, you can't say that.
Is that it?
Yeah. That like you're hyping yourself up like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Like, and it was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
Logan was great, and Eli just chills. He just like looks around. Like at one point, someone made a sound, and like he just moves his little fat hand. What's happening over there? He's just like sucking on his binky. I was just picturing him like smoking a cigarette. What? Just judging. So then I promised Logan pizza because it was like lunchtime. It was like 12:30. So we got it, and it's funny. He goes, no, I was ordering. I was getting a plain because I know he wants plain. He's like, no, I want the pepperoni. I was like, all right. I got the pepperoni. Dad, can you take the pepperoni off?
Yeah.
Of course.
It's like, this was 40 more cents.
You're going to eat those pepperonis? And
Let me
you're gonna
tell
like
you, it was soggy. I was not remember
Costco pizza?
Like, I remember it being like really good, and
Yeah.
it was not like my past. I haven't had it in forever.
I'm a
But my
fan.
memory was not.
Yeah. Whenever we go to Costco, we always get the pizza.
It's doughy,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's
right?
the
It's a
very doughy.
pizza.
Yeah, it's dough. Yeah.
Which and I got the hot dog. Logan ate the pizza. I took a bite of it. That's where I was like, oh, it's not what I remember. But the hot dog, even too, it wasn't what I remember. They didn't have the deli mustard, so like that really ruined my hot dog experience at Costco.
Costco is big on maintaining their price for hot
Yeah,
dogs,
that's
right?
what
Isn't
it
it
is.
like $1.50?
It's $1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Like
Well,
that.
pizza pie is what, like $8? I think $8 or $9 now. I think.
Wow.
The slice was about like
Which is great.
$1.59, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
We used to get I don't know if they still do this anymore, the frozen pizza. Like you could get
Oh,
the
yeah.
full pie and it was frozen.
Yeah.
So then when we would get home, we'd put it in the oven.
Nice.
That was our big Friday night pizza because we would do our big Costco shopping trip.
Mm-hmm.
We would go in there with 2 shopping carts, and we
Whoa.
were there like every Friday night.
Yeah.
That's how much
Do they
Costco
still go
shopping
every
we
Friday
did.
night?
I don't think so. No, I think it's a lot less now. Costco's the best. I definitely prefer to do the majority of my shopping at
Yeah.
Costco.
Us too now. I can go there and it can last like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's great.
I just hate that they open so late. Like that's because I'm like I want to like at 6 a.m. like I want to be out and like go grocery shopping. I like to try to go as early as possible, and so just the fact I have to wait until 10 is like it just feels to me it's like it's too late.
That reminds me of remember back when COVID happened, they would only allow the old people. They're like, you're only allowed at this time, 5:30 a.m. As soon as it strikes 6:30, you get out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would
That's
allow-
me. I'm that old person that
Well, Costco I think has early hours for old people.
Do they?
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah.
So I took off today on Friday, right? And because it was dad for donuts at Logan School, and we went around to 11:30, and it was packed. Packed. I'm like, don't you people work?
Yeah, it's. I think every time I've ever been there, it's packed.
Yeah, I don't think I've been there on a downtime.
Do you guys go to the same one? The one in
No, I go to the one now on Sunrise. 'Cause we don't live. It would be too much of a
I
hike
just did
to.
the Smith Haven one though.
Okay, so not, yeah, the one
Yeah,
with-
for me,
okay,
it would be
gotcha.
too much of a hike to go there.
Yeah, go to that one, right? Yeah, makes sense.
It's still a bit of a hike for me, but
Costco's are worth it.
yeah.
Worth the trip. I'm a big fan. I always pick Costco over BJ's.
Yep.
Although BJ's is great for the pickup. You can do you could put your order in online and then you just pull up and they bring it all to
And
your car.
BJ's has a deli counter, which Costco needs.
They do. I think it's Dietz and Watson. I don't know if I'm a fan of Dietz.
Yeah, no.
It's not Boar's Head.
I heard the Boar's Head hot dogs got like recalled.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Logan's all right because that's all he
That's
eats.
all he eats.
If I forget to pack lunch, what I'll do is when I get to work at Hampton Bays, I go to King Cullen and they have Boar's Head, and so they have like those packaged sandwiches, you know.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, it's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. But yeah, I'll get them.
They are good. I do, if I need to, a King Cullen sandwich, even ShopRite sandwich is usually relatively cheap. You can get it for like $5 and there's Boar's
Yeah.
Head. So
Yeah.
it's a nice
Stop
little-
and Shop can make a nice sandwich too, because I remember back when I used to work right next to a Stop and Shop. Go in there, you ask them to make it, and you say on the pretzel bread.
Do you guys have a go-to, like a deli order? If you had to pick a deli sandwich, like, is there a go-to, or do you kind of shake it up every time?
I pretty much shake it up.
Shake it
every
up.
time.
Yeah. I've always, for a long time, I do like just like a ham sandwich,
I enjoy a ham sandwich.
lettuce, tomato, banana peppers.
Banana peppers. I love throwing a little banana peppers on, for
Mhm.
sure. Pickles, mustard.
And
Yeah.
I like a good Italian,
Yeah.
sub too.
Did you guys see that? Someone wrote underneath. They're like, "I love mustard" underneath our video.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah, very good.
Awesome. We'll keep churning that
Yeah, we do
mustard.
too. I
Please,
tell you though, I don't know if you guys have ever had a Wegmans sub before. A
Oh
Wegmans
no,
sandwich.
I haven't.
The best.
The best.
Like actually the best.
I just had one on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's one right around the corner from the office. So
Oh, nice.
whenever I head home, I'll usually grab something.
Wait,
And I-
is Wegmans the gas station?
no,
no.
that's Wawa.
That's Wawa.
Wawa. That's the. I've had a Wawa sandwich.
Hoagie?
Yeah,
Hoagie?
yeah,
Pretty
hoagie.
good.
Yeah.
Wegmans is.
Wegmans
We're
is
getting
great.
a Wegmans.
We are getting a Wegmans. They're working on it. I saw the fence is up now. They're gonna start building
Fences up.
Yeah.
2024 sometime.
that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
I'm
Wegmans.
just so excited. That's where I'm gonna be. That's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna live there. I'm just gonna.
They're the
No, no,
best.
Wegmans.
Oh, they're the
Wegmans
best.
Where is it gonna be? Ronkonkoma.
Lake Grove.
Mm.
Right across from the Smith Haven Mall, where
At
Toys
the
R Us used to
Applebee's,
be.
Right? The Applebee's.
Millers. The
Oh,
Millers.
Millers. Oh,
Yeah, in that
Millers.
parking lot. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That used to be
It's
what
like the
a
DSW
Houlihan's?
and the.
Yes.
Miller's used to be a Houlihan's.
Yes. Houlihan's was great. We used to go to Houlihan's a lot.
I went there once, and I wasn't 21, and I wanted to try their hula drink, and I was like, "Oh, when I'm 21, I'm coming back here." Gone.
Gone. Closed.
Oh, is this just like American?
Oh, and
food?
we're also
Yeah, it's kind of like an Applebee's.
a Fuddruckers is supposed to be coming to Medford
Yeah. Really?
on 112.
What is?
Fuddruckers.
It's
Yeah, why do
it's
I-
pretty much a Dave and Buster's.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
they're like
Yeah,
games and
same
stuff.
type of thing.
Nice.
cool.
I love Dave and Buster's.
I enjoy it.
Dave and Buster's
I
is-
enjoy their horse racing one. That game.
Yes. When you have to shoot the water and
Yeah, it
you
moves.
hit the hole.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
horse- yeah.
I think I've done that one.
Or it might be the ball. That horse racing. I hope they didn't get rid of it because it was old. Let's hop into a top 5. You got Josh will enjoy this one. And top 5 gaming consoles
Oh. Like
Of all time? Yeah,
of all
like-
time. Yes.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm drawing the line at
Yeah.
Atari. I just typed in the top.
So like the most selling, like the most,
Yeah,
like the highest.
yeah. You don't have to guess the price, but it would be like the top. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't think of the expression, but okay. I'm gonna say. Oh man. The PlayStation 2.
Number one.
Really?
Yeah, that was
Oh, that's
everybody.
awesome.
That was a hot ticket.
Everybody
Yes.
had it, yeah, everybody had
That
it.
was the first console we got. Was the PlayStation?
Yeah, me
2.
too.
We had the PlayStation, the original one.
Yeah,
first,
no, I didn't.
Okay.
And then we had the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah, the
PlayStation, 2.
PlayStation 2.
All right. The Wii.
Wii is not on there.
Ah, I felt like that was a big trend for a while.
I'm gonna say the Xbox 360.
No Xbox.
No, no Xboxes.
Wow. GameCube.
No.
Nintendo 64.
Surprisingly, no.
What?
Wow.
What is this list?
Game Boy.
Game Boy's number 4.
Like, they're not different Game Boys, right? It's just Game Boy.
Yeah,
we don't
just
have
Game
to
Boy.
start
Yeah, you
guessing
don't
Game
gotta
Boy
do
Color.
Yeah, the different types. Advance SP.
Yeah, that's I love that. Oh, the DS.
Yeah, DS.
Well, no, what was the one that was the first one that opened up? That was the SP.
That
was
right?
the SP.
That's
So-
the SP. Yeah, that was the best.
Nintendo DS is number 2.
Oh, so
Oh,
that's
right.
different. Okay.
So we're doing handhelds.
Yeah.
So
Game Boy?
PlayStation 2 is number 1. Nintendo DS is number 2. Game Boy is 4.
I
So
remember
you're
when we
looking
would go
for 3
on school trips and everyone would bring their Nintendo DS and I didn't have one. And you could chat on
Yeah,
the DS
yeah.
to each DS is when you're in a certain proximity. So when we were on like the bus going, everyone
I
was
didn't have
chatting.
one either. Yeah.
I wasn't cool enough.
All right, I'm gonna say it's a Switch.
Yep, Switch is 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is it old too? Like is like an Atari on there or something like that? No. What are we missing? Is it really obvious?
Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Okay.
I was gonna be like, what do we play on when we finally play? So you got PlayStation 2, number 1, Nintendo DS, number 2, Nintendo Switch, number 3, Game Boy, number 4, and PlayStation 4, number 5. So yeah, Nintendo's got a lot on that list.
Yeah, Nintendo and Sony are
Surprised
the
on
big names.
64, you know, didn't make
I
it.
thought for sure.
Not
that
even
would be-
360. A lot of people had 360.
That's what I was thinking. The Xbox
360,
360 would be
but-
on
Yeah,
that
same.
list.
I was a little shocked to see this. I knew PlayStation 2 was going to be there, but
Yeah, that was like my childhood. PlayStation 2. Like my brother and I, we played so much. Just like Madden and just all these games. Like
we used to play. We stayed up one night playing backyard baseball on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
like
that's great.
all night until we unlocked Babe
Babe Ruth.
yeah.
And it was like such a crazy thing. You had to hit a grand slam in a certain inning to get him. I remember like Jonathan fell asleep, and I think you did, and me and James were just like trucking through.
And we woke up and like, we got Babe
We
Ruth.
got Babe, and then we bat with him. Is he? Babe stinks.
Yeah, that's right. It was not that good. He wasn't worth all the hype.
No.
Backyard baseball was fun. Were we recently? Was it us? Were we talking about Sly Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was us, right? That was
Sly
because that was a PlayStation 2 game. That was a great one. Yeah, I really enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
the,
Yeah.
the Jack series, the Jack and Daxter, and
Yeah.
well, my brother and I we used to do the Star Wars Battlefront 2.
That was a
We
big
played that
one. Yes.
crazy. That was such.
I feel like you guys
That was
had
fun.
one of the Star Wars ones, and I remember it took a while to beat. Why am I forgetting his name? The guy who goes, where Obi-Wan Kenobi says "Hello there" to him.
General
Yeah,
Grievous.
General Grievous. Yeah, so I was blanking on his name.
Hello there. That's funny how you remembered that. Yeah,
I
hello
remember
there.
that. I remember keep dying, and like we kept he kept saying that
Yeah.
over and over and over and over again.
We had Lego.
Kenobi.
Yes, right. Spot on. We had Lego Star Wars. I don't know if it was. Lego
Yeah,
Star Wars.
that's what we
Yeah,
were
we'd
playing
play
as.
that all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan and Colin would come over after church, and we would just sit there and play. We would play Lego Star Wars. Ryan and I would play, and James and Colin would do their vocabulary cards, and then we'd switch. So that would be the way we'd be able to hang out. We're like, we'll do homework while we play.
Yeah. Nice.
Good times.
Word.
Good
Ready?
times.
Ready for this transition?
Hit us.
All right. So Josh, you used to work at a Guitar Center, right?
I did.
So what was like one thing like kids would always try to learn, like on the guitar?
Like songs. You mean?
Yeah, like that a famous, like Guns N' Roses or Green Day or something.
Yeah. So you'd
was.
always get the smoke on the water, the dun, 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 dun.
I can tell you love that song.
million freaking times, and then it would be like, "Crazy Train" by Ozzy Osbourne. That was like a really popular one.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit more advanced, right? Or no?
I mean,
is that basic?
It's just like fast, but it's not too. It's like in the same area.
So
you can
where I'm
play
going with
crazy.
this is how many times you've heard like a 12-year-old or 11-year-old
Yeah.
botch it
Oh,
so many times, and did that make you feel a certain way towards Ozzy Osbourne or whatever? Where you're like,
I hate him.
where you're like, I can't listen to this, and it's probably like they stink too. So like your opinion didn't shift on that. Just like my way I'm going into this is like, say how so many people are like with priests, if like they disagree with how priests are or what Catholics have done or Christians have done, where they're quick to shut it off. Like you're not going to shut it off. You're going to go listen to the real remastered Ozzy Osbourne. Like it's God. It's not, pretty much priests are cover bands to God. So you know what I mean by that?
So
Like you're not going to shut them off. You shouldn't shut God off and blame God for something that happened or something that you disagree with that someone else is saying.
Within the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the kind of the cliche when priests tend to spew the same stuff over and over again, and how it kind of loses its meaning and value because they may or may not truly be gripped by what they're saying. It can really impact.
I can give an
a
example.
relationship.
It's like the worst thing is when you go to a church and you're just there to embrace and just like really get into it, and then instead of a homily, you're just getting lectured on like why you should be giving them money because they need money. So like that shuts a lot of people off like from talking to people. A lot of people don't like that, which it has to happen, but but don't whatever. What they do their thing, but what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying
always
is
drive me
like,
nuts when like we would go to like a Christmas mass at like some random parish sometime, and that's what they do. Like they take advantage of the audience, all the people that are there to just talk about why they should give them money.
yeah, and then they also like
it's like you're missing the point here. You're not gripping anybody with this. Like
one thing too that happens with that too is like say the Christmas audience that's there or people that come, the holiday people, you make them feel insignificant, or a lot of like people who go all the time make them feel like it's cold here, I don't belong here, and like that's not God. Like you shouldn't take other people's what they're putting out there. Like Josh doesn't hate Sweet Child of Mine because he's heard it 500 times in Guitar Center,
Well, the one that I heard so many times, it was kind of a random thing. Like it was always older guys. So every like older guy who would want to learn the guitar wanted to learn the solo from Comfortably Numb, the Pink Floyd song. And it was literally, I was shocked because I was like, okay, it's not, I mean, it's a good solo, but it's not like amazing or whatever. Like, I don't know why it's so interesting. But literally, like every single person was like, can you teach me this? And I was just like, why does everyone like this? I don't understand.
Pink Floyd was at the door paying everyone to go in there and ask you.
Yeah, exactly. Bugging me about it, which I learned the solo and I'm really good at it now because of it.
Played it so-
Yeah, like out of all the party tricks, why would you pick that song? Like
Yeah, I know, yeah. Like, oh, let me just whip out Comfortably Numb real quick. It's like,
That's gonna hit it. Yeah. I thought about that too a little bit as you're saying that, Andrew, just the mass itself. And I think too, what can get lost nowadays and just normal, I think like for a while, it really wasn't resonating with me, but it's really like a total active participation in mass, right? It's not just the priest. It's the whole communion of the mass that is participating. So like, yeah, you're not going to get an amazing homily every time you're there, or you're not going to get a rock star priest every time, but it's also not why you're there, right? Like the whole, reason to be going to mass is to celebrate the sacrifice of the mass, right? So in communion with the saints, with God in heaven, like that's a celebration, right? So I think from a simple way, that's kind of just become one of the easier excuses, I think, right? To be able to just separate it, but really it's a full participation. So like, because I've been hearing that a lot too within catechism in a year, like for us as priests, like we're also priests, right? Like we're not ordained priests, but we're baptized, right? So it's also our mission to be actively participating in the mass as well, right? And that takes time because I don't think it's easy to sit there and to be fully embraced in the mass, right? You kind of got to practice at it, but that I think can help kind of work through any sort of disconnect that you might be feeling from a priest. But if you really try your best to like be an active participant, I think that could maybe help kind of work through something like a bad cover band.
So I can jump into and tell you like where years ago, I was like, when everything came out with all the scandals and the cover-ups, I really like took a step back and I was like really disgusted by it. And it took my grandmother, who's Lutheran, to talk to me like and put that out there and tell me like, they're just human. Like it's not God who did it. Like, and you should stick with your faith and just that's the importance. Like you're not gonna blame because of this person. Like how we're given all these different examples. You're not gonna blame God himself because of what it's run by humans. It's run by men. So there's flaw, there's sin, there's all this. So like that was one major thing like I took from like my grandmother, who was like really pushed me back to my faith with that. Because like I'm strongly against, as everyone is, strongly against that. It really just disgusts me, and I just like the documentaries, like some of the documentaries that come out. Like there's one on HBO now with about the subway guy, and it's just gross. And there's one on Amazon. There's all these things coming out. There's one on Amazon about the Duggar guy.
Oh yeah, I saw that recently. Yeah, my goodness.
So it just like angers me.
Yeah, why do we need to kind of put them in a light where it's publicized too, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, it's like everything, I think. At the end of the day, people's experience with anything, right? So if we're talking about faith, that's where, for us, like talking about being priests, like as baptized, practicing Catholics, like we have the ability to give someone a positive glimpse into what it means to be Catholic, right? Like, so same thing with like a song, you play a bad song, people are not going to like the artist, but meanwhile they have a bunch of other good songs, right? Like, our mission in life should be to be able to kind of give someone a glimpse of the good that can be received through faith,
How much of that has like truly probably affected all of our lives? Like even like, Tom Hanks and them, like Tom Hanks is a great actor, but because of his political stuff, like I kind of just don't want to watch his stuff anymore. And it kind of ruins that for you. And it really shouldn't, but it's just how many little things like that really affect our, I don't know,
perception on things.
Perception.
Yeah.
And I think kind of going back, the important like thing to remember in the midst of all this is like everyone is at different stages with everything, which is, I know it's kind of a cop-out thing to say, but I think oftentimes people just aren't gripped by the Mass because they don't really realize or understand what's happening at Mass, because what you said, Ryan, is like beautiful, like it is a communion of persons coming together to participate in the sacrifice and to receive Christ in within the Eucharist. But, there's a statistic that says like 90% of all Catholics don't believe in it. Like they don't believe in the Eucharist. They don't believe that it's really Christ. And so if they don't believe that, then they're not going to really, like all it's going to matter is what the priest is saying. And that's it. Like that's all that's, that's what they're there for, is to just be edified by some guy. And if that guy doesn't edify them, then it was a bad experience. And so I think what's necessary is for people to have that moment. And I think all of us at one point have had that moment where we can kind of see Mass for what it is. And so I think it's just important to remember that everyone's at different stages, but like we need that aha moment where it's like, oh, this is Jesus that I'm sitting here to receive, that I'm taking in, and this is why I'm here, as opposed to just a message.
You know, the innocence of children too. Like past weekend we had James, they baptized their daughter, and I had Abby and Logan were back by me, and right when Father Rob is blessing and they were talking, I was like, shh, Jesus is up there, guys. And then Logan like looks and he goes, oh, Jesus. And then Abby's like, where's Jesus? Like looking for Jesus. And it was just very cute. And then when we were going to walk up to receive, she went off to Emily, but she was pretty much like, okay, say hi to Jesus.
Let him know I said what's up. It is cool to look at it through an innocence of a child, for sure. I think that was a cool reminder too, Josh. Everyone's at different stages in life, in their faith journey, right? Like we talk about, join us on our journey. Yeah, like it is a good reminder, because I think sometimes too, the way things can get communicated in the faith world, like it's hard to figure out the right way to kind of like simplify things, to be able to allow it to be like a universal thing, right? Because no matter what you say, like people are going to think of it differently based upon where they're at in their journey and their life. And something as powerful as the Mass, it takes so much time to kind of transform and understand. And
and I would argue, I'm sorry to cut in,
No, go ahead.
but like I think simplifying it isn't the answer, and because I think that just ultimately removes the meaning from it. And so there is that issue of like, there kind of almost is a little bit of a barrier for entry, but like it's still, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it really, it's the mystery of our faith, right? It's, and I think that's what kind of in today's world, like you think about how things are kind of talked about, right? You've got platforms for everyone to really be able to speak and to have whatever, right? A platform. When it comes to faith, there are so many different parts of your journey, so that it's kind of, in a sense, up to you to find what fits where you're at in your faith life too, right? Because it's almost like you really have to actively seek it. Because if you find the wrong person, you might think, no, this isn't it, right? Like I'm discouraged because I'm not at that point in my faith life. But meanwhile, there's someone else out there that can maybe help you where you're at in your life, right? Like
I feel like there's so much fear from Catholics of just like really putting it out there. We've talked about this many times, of just like really just like you're viewed as nuts. But then, what's crazy to me is like you have like, sorry to say this, there's crazy religions out there and they're not scared, and they're out there spewing about the mother God or whatever, like you experience. Like there's so many like crazy people like talking. I think there's like someone who there's a church what's that movie that Father Sean talked about at your wedding?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
The bowling guy.
The Big Lebowski.
Yes, that's a religion.
Yeah.
That is a
dude,
religion.
Yeah, the dude abides.
Yeah, that is insane to me. The amount of like, you look it up, there's amount of like craziness that there's a bunch of things that are.
But you know what it is that people know that stuff is not true.
Yeah, they're just doing it as like to mock our faith.
And so with Catholics, it's like there's truth here, and so there's a lot of fear because the truth is convicting. And so people don't spew this stuff on the street because it causes a response in people. Like if you are teaching actual truth of what the church believes in and getting it out there to the masses, it causes us we have to respond, and our hearts kind of turn. Now with stuff like crazy bat crap people, like you're laughing at them because it's not true. And so there is that reality of like you need courage to do it. And courage, I think, is lacking.
And even with the beyond crazy, the Satanists, they, do you really think the devil is with red horns and no, he's gonna make himself look slick and good and talk to a smooth talk? Like he's not. He's laughing that people think that that's his image. Like he's walking amongst us. It's crazy.
I like that. That was a really good point. How do we kind of create more courage, right, in our faith and being willing to discuss it? Because you're so right, Josh, too. Like it does create a reaction, right? There's a stir. So it's hard to have those conversations sometimes. And I think at the end of the day, it's a matter of, again, like, man, I feel like I always kind of say this, but it's like, if you just approach someone with love, right? You show them something in a sense of, I care about you. And that's why I say what I say in a sense, right? Like because that's the root of it all. But yeah, that's so interesting.
Because it's weird that we live in this time where like ideology equals identity. And so just like what you're saying with Tom Hanks, like it's hard to separate his politics from his person. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what has happened over the years, is like a person's stance on things like defines who they are, which is just ridiculous.
It got worse with the whole Trump thing.
Well,
it got extremely worse once. Like,
it definitely exploded just since 2020, I would say.
Even like Robert De Niro, like just listening to like these people talk, and it's just like, oh.
But this is the problem, right? Because all of a sudden now a person is not valuable. They're just now a set of ideas that you disagree with.
Yeah.
So as opposed to seeing them as an individual who is at a different stage, who's on a different journey, who's had different teachers, different mentors who pushed them to believe something that may or may not, is false. As we know it to be false. But like it's hard. Like why do we respond now? Like, I don't like this person and I'm not going to support them.
Yeah.
I want their career to burn. Like why do we respond that way?
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
That's what I was asking. And then like I respond in a different way when I find out that someone is of faith, like Chris Pratt, McConaughey.
I know you love them.
Like,
wow, I'm gonna watch all of Chris Pratt stuff.
Even like find out like Matthew McConaughey was, and even what's his name started talking about. I'm gonna butcher his name. Tyrese from the Fast and the Furious. Yeah, he started talking about God, like saying like, I don't understand why it's a shame to talk about God. Like he really started coming out in his interviews, where to much so they pulled him from his interviews. And then the actor, there's a live action Avatar: Last Airbender, which I love that show. And the guy who's playing Sokka had like He Is Risen shirt and wore the whole weekend, wore a religious shirt and had his necklace. And they were asking him to like put a sweatshirt on. We're like, wear this. He's like, no. And, like to the point where people were like, oh, you're supposed to be a Buddhist. It's like, where in the show does it say that he's a Buddhist? Just let it, and he's not wearing it on the show. Like, just like the hate that people get for it. In Matthew McConaughey's book, he says people he broke bread with, prayed with, like when he won the Oscar and he was talking about it, you see them like sit on their hands, and he's like, he wasn't gonna put them on blast, but it's like funny how that like happens.
It's a unique time we're living in. That's for sure, man. It's true. Our ideologies tend to be the identification, right? How they identify it. But yeah, and I kind of go back and forth with that too, right? Because for us as Catholics, right, and we want to support the things that we believe in, and we want to continue to support those businesses or those people to be able to continue to succeed, so that they can have that platform to express, right, what it is that is our faith, because more and more of these other platforms are getting, taken over. So
one thing I want to say too, though, because I feel like we've all mentioned this, where I can see where like the person that I was talking about, like Matthew McConaughey said, saw them sit on their hands. Like, I'm sure we're all like guilty and done the Peter of not denial, but just like where we feel like we should have said more than we should have.
Yeah.
Like we're all
challenge.
I feel like everyone, even listening, we're all guilty of that.
Yeah, and I think again that's just the nature of the time that we live in, and our culture, and how it really just doesn't like Christian influence and ideas and beliefs and values. It's no longer a virtue, like a virtuous thing. It's seen as an evil thing. And so it's hard to speak up and to hold these beliefs when you feel as though the world is turned against you. Yeah. And so it just requires a lot of courage, an intense amount of courage. I was watching this interview the other day. It was just kind of with this guy, and he was talking about, like, listen, like, we're moving into a time, like an age of martyrdom within the church, meaning that we're going to be seeing, like, I don't mean literally, like, people are going to be killed, but, like, we're in a time where, like, there's a lot of prosecution in a sense. People get angry and are loud. And so it's really going to show people's true colors, like those who truly believe, like, you're going to see them, and they're going to be there. And so it's really going to test all of our faiths in this time to remain true to Christ and all that. But what I want to say about all this is, like, I think it's just so important for us to remember that we are not our ideology. Like, that's not who we are. Like, we're not just a set of beliefs. Like, we're all sons and daughters of a God who loves us and who died for us ultimately, and who longs for us every single moment of every single day, and just wishes that we were with him and seeing him and reconciling back to him and growing in our relationship with him, so that he can shed his graces upon us and so that we can grow in virtue and be who we're supposed to be. And that's everybody. That's every single person. And so it's so hard for us to see that, but we need to do that. We need to, like, see all these people as that. And I think that'll greatly impact our emotions towards those who disagree with us. Like, as soon as we look upon them with love and faith and seeing Christ within every single person, then I think we can get through all this stuff.
Transcends all, right? That's the most powerful thing. When I was trying to, like, really discern my next steps in life, my mom gave me one of the books from Ascension. I think it was Pray and Don't Worry. I think I'm missing a line in the system. But the first chapter and the first thing that they said, before you go any further, and if you want to really truly discern who you are or where you're going in life, just know one thing, that you are a son and daughter of God, right? You are loved. And that can shape so much. I mean, I think that can be one of the more kind of transcending things in a life, to be able to accept that, believe that, and live that out. That can be really tremendous.
That's what Satan wants. He wants you to believe that you're worthless and that you're not loved, that you're hated, that you're alone. And I think so many people get caught up in those lies, and you succumb to it. It really does. It steals you.
It really does. It steals your happiness, your joy.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, your heart.
brutal.
Like, it tears you apart. And so we have to remember that. We have to remember that.
Yeah.
And even I'll say this, like, go back to ask, if you went and asked all our family who would have been doing this right now, they would have not said me and Ryan. That's for sure.
Probably not. No.
But that's a good thing, right?
That's a good
You're
thing, right?
here,
You're here.
You listened,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it does take courage. It takes a lot of courage to put up, to, speak and talk about these types of things. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's your ideologies do not define you. Yeah, that's really important, I think, too, to remember, because more and more that's pushed kind of in front of us today. But rather, we are loved, right? Sons and daughters of God, and uniquely your own, individually, right? Like Matthew Kelly talks about that all the time, right? To be the greatest version of yourself. Like, that's what God wants for you, right? So how do you not want to turn towards that and kind of try to understand that? And it's a merciful God, right? So for us too, it's don't be discouraged, right? If you're not at the same part of someone else's journey, like it's your own individual journey. And there are people there that can help you along your journey. That's for sure, because you need that. But it's unique, It's easy to compare, but kind of stay true to that, because I think that can be really, really helpful too. And shout out Trevor Williams, right? A Major League Baseball pitcher who spoke up, right?
Against the
Dodgers, doing their thing, right? That took courage.
I wanted to bring that up. I forgot about that.
Heroes, man. That's what
That's what we need. Then now he's leading a Hallow
Oh, good.
for the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Nice.
Started on Friday. It's going on right now, and it's free to everyone. So if you don't have the Hallow subscription, you can join in on the prayer journey. So yeah, speak up, have courage, because
And then they
God
had the
will provide.
nerve, the Dodgers, to be like, then they tried to have like a holy night, whatever. And it's just like, no, your damage is done. Like you picked, it wasn't a pride thing. It was a disgrace thing. It was horrible.
Yeah, just show the true colors.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like we need those. That's courage. That's the heroes that we need to like
Yeah.
to show the world that
Seriously.
like we exist and that there are people who believe this stuff as opposed to what the
Was he
mainstream
on the
media
Dodgers?
wants to
No, right?
push.
No, he's the Nationals. It's so true, because the media wants you to think that this is not
That it's ridiculous. That no one else believes this stuff.
That's what, it's such a shame, like, of what's happening and like how each company throws the rainbow on everything.
everything.
And then they have these nights and
But
it's
now there's
just,
the backlash. We're seeing it this year.
Yeah.
This year though, it's been changing. Like
and June is also men's awareness, like men's health awareness month, like of mental health. And have you heard one thing about it other than me saying it right now? No, you don't. You don't hear anything about it. You just hear that one thing, and it's just like, geez. And what is like Mother's Day? You get one day. Father's Day, you get one day. Why is it 1 month for them? It's like, okay, if you didn't have two straight parents, you wouldn't be here either.
boom.
I don't know, man. It's a challenge, I do think, for sure, right? We're living in such unique times, and I still feel like I'm trying my best to understand how to approach all of it. But
And I know someone who is gay but still believes extremely in the Catholic faith and goes to church every Sunday.
oh, of course,
pray-
man. I
so,
mean,
like,
that's the thing, right?
I'm not like I'm not like when I say like 1 month, like I'm against certain different things, like pushing it on children. I'm against a lot of things within that community, but it's just, I'm not like throwing hatred towards like maybe they're lost, their God's lost.
But that's what I mean behind, we've decided that ideology is identity. So if you disagree with somebody's ideology, it defines them, right? So if you disagree and say, well, I'm sorry, I don't think homosexuality is a good thing. Well, you disagree with them as a person, so
Yeah,
therefore you
that's-
hate them,
Yeah.
which is just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
You know?
I love the signs, and I see more and more like Protestant churches that have this up, like the all are welcome here. I always just thought that was like a funny thing, because it was like, well, first of all, or even like on a store, it's like all are welcome here. Yeah, isn't that how it works? Like anyone can go here, right? Like that's not but to have to kind of broadcast that, right? But I guess maybe sometimes we do have to remind everyone, like the church does not say no to anyone, right? Like the doors are always open, and there is always a way and a solution and love that is available
So
to you.
last week we were going to the wedding. We drove past a church. I think it was like a Protestant church, and they had the rainbow flag on there right next to Jesus. I was just like, what the?
It's missing the point, I think.
Yeah.
I think from my perspective. But hey, look, we'll continue to love and show that you can be loved very much by God and by the people around you. So, yeah.
Yeah. While still holding true to the teachings of the church,
It's possible.
but doing it with like, a cotton touch, whatever the hell that means.
Whatever that means. But yeah, man, I feel like sometimes there are days where we're kind of walking on eggshells in a sense, right? You don't know what you can or cannot say.
Yeah.
But man, we'll navigate through it, and I'm sure there'll be a day where truth will come to light, because it always does, right? But
But one last thing. So I've been really listening into the song recently. It's called "Abide in Me" by Andrew Marcus, and it's an awesome song. I want to show it to you guys. And he has this line in it. So he's like talking as if he was God, and he says, I'm the first, I'm the last, and I hold the middle. I'm the first, I'm the last, and I hold the middle. And the phrase just struck me because sometimes I forget that like the Lord is with us and that He's holding everything right now. And I think oftentimes what I do is I fall into this like place of like everything's falling apart, like it's all crumbling. Like, God, where are you? Like, why have you forsaken us? Type of thing. It's like, why is all of this happening? But it's just so important for us to remember that like He is still God. He's eternal. He is timeless. He's present. And He's in control. And to just remember that, and that His good outweighs everything else. And that in the end, there'll be justice and goodness for everybody. And just to always remember that in the midst of all this ridiculousness, that God is in control and He's present. He's holding it right now. So
That's cool. I feel like I need to hear that too, just from my own individual, like where I'm at currently in my faith. Because I felt like recently, like I don't know what the word is, dry, quiet. Like I'm praying, but everything feels quiet on the other end. You know, where are you? But that's a great reminder. I love that. That's a cool way to just sum this all up. Yeah. Awesome.
Word. Appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Help us get to 300 subscribers. Share the video. Comment. Whatever you want to do.
Do them all.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Stay rooted in Christ.
Peace.
Peace.